They say the person who smiles the most is often the one carrying the sharpest blade behind their back. For 10 years, I was the wife who smiled. I was the wife who supported, who cheered, and who stayed silent while my husband, Marcus, built his empire. I was his rock, or so he told his friends at dinner parties. But to Marcus, a rock is just something you step on to reach higher ground. He thought I didn't see the way his eyes lingered on his phone late at night. He thought I didn't notice the scent of expensive perfume that didn't belong to me. He thought I was clueless. And for a long time, I let him believe that. Because the thing about being underestimated is that it gives you the ultimate front row seat to your enemy's destruction. Tonight was supposed to be his big moment. The night he received the Entrepreneur of the Year award. The night his company went public. He spent months preparing his speech, making sure every hair was in place, every lie was polished. He looked at me in the mirror tonight and said, "Honey, stay in the background today, okay? This is a big night for the brand." I just nodded and straightened his tie. I whispered, "Don't worry, Marcus. Tonight, the whole world is going to see exactly who you are." He didn't realize that I wasn't talking about his success. I was talking about his soul. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to the day the first crack appeared in the perfect life Marcus and I had built. It wasn't a scream or a fight. It was a simple notification on a screen that he thought I would never see. We met in college. Back then, he had nothing but a cheap suit and $1 million dream. I was the one who worked 2 jobs so he could finish his MBA. I was the one who designed his first logo, who edited his first pitch decks, and who believed in him when his own parents told him he would fail. We were a team. Or at least, I thought we were. As the money started coming in, Marcus started changing. It's a slow poison, wealth. It doesn't change you all at once. It just unmasks who you really were all along. The more successful he became, the more invisible I became. I wasn't the partner anymore. I was the accessory. "Sarah, could you handle the catering for the office party? You're so good at the little things," he'd say. The little things. That was my life. While he was out making big moves, I was the one keeping the foundation solid. But Marcus started forgetting that if you remove the foundation, the whole building falls. 6 months ago, Marcus started staying late at the office. He said it was the merger. He said the investors were being difficult. I wanted to believe him. I really did. But then came the Tuesday night when he left his iPad on the kitchen counter. A message popped up. It was from a contact saved as building inspector. The message read, "I miss you already. Can't wait for the gala so we can finally tell them." My heart didn't break. It froze. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just stood there in the kitchen, the light of the refrigerator humming, and I realized that my entire life had been a script written by a man who didn't even like the lead actress. I didn't confront him. That's what a clueless person would do. They would cry, they would ask why, and they would give him the chance to hide the evidence. No, I stayed silent. I put the iPad back, and I started my own merger. Over the next few weeks, I became a ghost in my own home. I watched him. I learned his patterns. I realized that building inspector was actually Chloe, his young, ambitious head of marketing. The girl I had interviewed. The girl I had told Marcus he should hire because she had potential. He was using the company funds, the company I helped build, to buy her jewelry. He was using our vacation home to host her. He was planning to announce a restructuring of his life the same night he took the company public. He wanted to discard me like an old piece of software that was no longer compatible with his new, upgraded lifestyle. I found his private files. Marcus was arrogant. He thought I was too simple to understand the technical side of his business. He forgot that I was the one who wrote his original business plan. While he was out for dinner with Chloe, I was in his study. I wasn't looking for love letters. I was looking for the ledgers. And what I found was better than any evidence of an affair. Marcus hadn't just betrayed me, he had betrayed his investors. He was cutting corners. He was hiding debt in offshore accounts to make the company look more profitable than it was for the IPO. He thought he was a genius. He thought he had outsmarted everyone. He was so busy looking at Chloe and looking at the stock market that he never noticed me standing in the shadows, holding the thread that could unravel his entire world. I remember one night, he came home late, smelling of bourbon and her perfume. He looked at me with this pity in his eyes. "You look tired, Sarah," he said. "Maybe after the gala, you should take a long trip. Alone. To clear your head. I think we need some space." I looked him dead in the eye and smiled. "You're right, Marcus. A lot of things are going to be cleared up after the gala." He just patted my shoulder and walked away, laughing. He thought I was broken. He didn't realize I was just getting started. The night before the gala, the house was eerily silent. Marcus was in the guest room, claiming he needed to focus on his notes. I knew Chloe was on the other end of his phone, congratulating him on his ascension. I walked through our home, touching the things we had bought together. The painting from our first anniversary. The vase we found in Italy. It felt like I was walking through a museum of a dead life. I didn't feel sad anymore. The sadness had burned away weeks ago, leaving only a cold, hard clarity. I went into his study one last time. His laptop was open. I saw a draft of a press release he had scheduled for the morning after the gala. Headline: Tech visionary Marcus Thorne announces amicable separation from wife. He had already written the ending of our story. He had framed it so he looked like the hero, the man who was evolving while his wife stayed behind. I sat in his chair and pulled out my own phone. I sent one final text to my contact. "Everything is uploaded. The tech team at the hotel thinks it's part of the official presentation. We're go for tomorrow night." I closed Marcus's laptop and walked to our bedroom. I looked at the emerald green dress hanging on the door. It looked like armor. Tomorrow, Marcus would stand before the elite of the city. He would wait for the applause. He would wait for the moment his net worth hit 10 figures. He thought it was his big moment. He was right. It was going to be the biggest moment of his life. But not for the reason he thought. I climbed into bed and slept peacefully for the first time in months. Because I knew that by this time tomorrow, I wouldn't be the clueless wife anymore. I would be the one who turned the lights out on Marcus Thorne's empire.